Good afternoon, I'm Dwayne Carpenter, Sports Information Director here at West Virginia Wesleyan College, and joining me for this Coach's Corner is men and women's head coach of track and field, Jesse Skiles. Jesse, thanks for being here.
Yeah, nice to be here.
First off, congratulations. For those that aren't aware, you swept the WVIAC track championships up at Wheeling Jesuit a little bit. We'll break it down here in just a second, but congratulations. That's your 48th and 49th title. Amazing.
Yeah, thank you very much. I think we've been blessed over the years to have the athletes and the luck. We've had some things fall our way, and this year this was a good one. This was a good one. I mean, they really brought the wood for those 2 days, and big performance. Event after event, we had guys finish higher than they were ranked, and it was I enjoyed it.
Of course. Last year, you won both the cross-country, men and women's, and the track and field. You swept all 4 championships. You did that again. Just an amazing accomplishment. So again, congratulations on that, bringing back 4 conference championships to Wesleyan. Just an amazing feat. So we'll start off with the men, if that's okay with you.
Yeah.
Tyler Edge will put you guys in a great place winning the decathlon the prior weekend at Glenville State. Broke a provisional mark, set an NCAA provisional mark, set a conference record. Could you talk about a little bit of the momentum that he gave you, and we talked about this last week, but comping those guys giving you going in?
Yeah, it really set the table, not just for the points it put on the board, but emotionally. I mean, all the kids that we had over there, and the way they got into it and pulled for each other, and I think it just kind of set the tone, and we were able to carry it over to this week. Because you can have all the talent in the world, but if you're not together, especially in a sport that's a team sport, but it's also an individual sport, you got to feel like you're there for somebody else besides you. Right. And I think we were able to get that feeling, and event after event they were able to bring it.
And for those not aware, you were not the favorite going into the men's side. You were ranked second. Seton Hill was ranked first, and I mean you dominated Seton Hill. You guys had 238 points. Seton Hill 136. I mean, you beat them by 102 points. What was that feeling like to just really dominate this meet?
It felt great, but it was just there was an attitude. Those guys came with an attitude. I mean, it really started last week, but they came and we got some big points early, had some big performances. Some folks scored that weren't ranked on that first day, and it just gave us some momentum. We were at dinner with the parents. We always do a parent dinner up there at the Methodist Church. Right off campus, and you could just see it in their eyes. They were ready to back out. I remember I was sitting with the assistants, and I'm like, we could go out and race them in the parking lot right now, And that's a great feeling to be on that end of the psychological side of it.
Now your men, they broke 4 school records and 2 conference records. Could you go in detail a little bit about the records?
Oh gosh, I mean. First off, all 4 relays, male and female, broke records. So Coach Basin's probably wanting to raise, probably. So I've been avoiding him for a couple of days. But we've had that 4x4 team with the 3 seniors, big time. That was a big exclamation point on it. 3:15.08. That's averaging 48 ahead, plus, and then the 4x1 was a real unlikely team. We were not ranked higher than 4th until 2 weeks ago. We had a big race here at our home meet, and boom, we go in there. And to be honest, it wasn't really short sprinters on that team. We had 400 kids, 400 hurdlers, and for them to come out there and pull it off, I mean, it was Mike Meadows, Rick Kump, John Natal, and Kavoy Douglas. It was essentially 300-400 kids and a 400 hurdler. If you look at what they scored in the open events, but Kavoy's speed's at a high level right now, and of course those other guys are solid, and they broke the record. And ironically, Coach Basin was on the team that got his record broken. So
I think right now he's out here on your track and field board updating it right now, taking his name off, and so
yeah, it's funny. He said he was going to put in parentheses "coached by me," but he did a good job, and those guys got it together and worked at it and dealt with the handoffs. But besides the relay record, Kavoy running 21:33 in the 200. He almost got the 100 record as well, just missed it by 100. Barry Franklin in the steeplechase broke his own record, but just hammered it, ran it. That was a highly anticipated showdown with Lance McDaniel of Concord. And Barry took control early and got it done. So was very proud of him with that effort.
How many titles did you walk away with on the men's side?
Oh gosh, I mean, Dwight Holden had a huge day, won both hurdles, and he was, about a second down on the honor roll to Nick Spino of Seton Hill, and he won that one as well. We had, of course, had Kyler besides his deck. Won the pole vault. Julio Villatoro won the discus. Keith Branch won the hammer. Zane Zabrowski won the javelin. So we had 3 throwing individual championships there. And then in the sprints, of course, Boyd takes the 1 and 2. Barry won the steeple and the relays, and of course Dwight in the hurdles. So we had a good showing up there on the record, on the award stand that day.
And your team was well represented as Douglas was named the WVIC Track Athlete of the Year, while Edgell was honored as the Field Athlete of the Year. So congratulations to those two, and very deserving.
Yeah, and Edgell got league MVP too.
Yeah, and Rookie of the Year, I believe.
He got the hardware. He was weighted down.
All right, let's talk about your women. Their event was a little bit tighter with Seton Hill, but you still really blew them away. You recorded 216 points. Seton Hill had 146. I mean, that's 70 more points than your runner-up. Now, you guys were the favorite going into that, but again, just a slight favorite. But go ahead and talk about the domination on the women's side as well.
Well, the depth came into play. It really did, because this was not, and the girls will tell you this was not our best women's team we put out there, because we had girls sick. We were still coming off some injuries, and some people that we were redshirted because of injuries and illnesses in the winter. So some people knew they had to step up, and they did a great job. We had several individual champions, which I can talk about there. And
of course, 4 school records and 1 meet record fell.
Yeah, well, with the school records, again, we had both of the relays. And again, I'm going back to Coach Basden on that. I mean, he's hammered. He had to make some decisions on order and who we were going to have in there. But that 4x1, put it down. That was Valerie Jasper, Jasmine Claggett, Kelsey Spang, and Daytona Marr, who'd been in the hospital up until Wednesday, and is having surgery now. But she, in that group, in that 4x4 team of Morgan Bennett, Megan Zayas, Ashley Knotts, and Jasper broke a school record that had stood for 12 years in that 4x4. Actually 14 years in 4x4. 4x1 had been up 12 years. So very special groups. And then, individually, Ashley Knotts broke the qualified for nationals, everything with the javelin, and hit that. And in the open races, Valerie Jasper broke the 100 record. We got Megan Zayas won the steeple. Jenna Brock ran away with both the longer races, 5 and 10. Of course, she's going ahead and graduate, after her junior year. So I was glad to see her go out like that. Morgan Bennett won both hurdle races, and even though we didn't have any individual championships beyond the javelin and the field events, we took some good points, and there were some real solid efforts through there. And matter of fact, besides the relay, Jasmine Claggett didn't win an individual event, but she scored 26 points. I mean, she scored about everything. So there were some kids that really brought a lot to the table, and real proud of their efforts.
So what's next now for your runners, the ones that have qualified will go to the NCAA regional meet?
Well, they don't have a regional in track. There's some postseason opportunities, which kind of serve as quasi-regionals. And we're looking at some opportunities there. Of course, Cump's on the national list, and we got Edgell's on the national list, as is Knotts and Douglas. So we're going to see if we can get them in a position to go, and hopefully, and it's down Charlotte this year, so I think we'll have a lot of the Bobcat Nation there for whoever we have. And I'm looking forward to that at the end of the month. Right now, we're focused on recruiting, but it's the whole idea of having somebody at nationals. Obviously, we want to get an All-American plaque or a few out of this postseason.
Okay. Well, again, congratulations on your 2 championships. It's just an amazing feat. So we'll check back with you in a couple of weeks and see how your track and field season finishes up. So for Jesse Skiles, I'm Dwayne Carpenter. We'll see you again next time.
Thanks so much.